Grammar Lesson 2.5, the verb gustar. Okay, in Spanish, when you want to express that you like something or that you don't like something, there's not exactly a verb that means to like. So instead, we use the verb gustar, which means to be pleasing to. The good news about gustar is when we conjugate this verb, there's really only two forms that we typically use. You will not typically see the verb gustar conjugated in the yo form or the nosotros form. You won't see it typically in the tu form or the vosotros form. The two forms that we typically see the verb gustar in are the third person singular form, so that would be gusta, and the third person plural form, which would be gustan. You'll notice these two conjugations work just like any other AR verb conjugation. We use indirect object pronouns with gustar, and in case you forgot from your English class what an indirect object pronoun is, that basically just means that an action is being done to or for someone. Here's a chart you'll want to copy down in your notes of the indirect object pronouns that you'll be using. So if you wanted to say that an action is being done for or to me, then you would use me. If it's being done for or to you, and the you that you're talking to is tu, then you would use te. The other indirect object pronouns are le, nos, os, and les. Make sure you get all of these copied down just as they are in the chart into your notes. I'm going to go over a couple of examples of how to use the verb gustar with the indirect object me when I'm telling about myself, in particular when I'm talking about my likes or dislikes. If I want to say I like the car, what I'm literally going to say is the car is pleasing to me. And the way I would say that is me gusta el carro. You'll notice the indirect object pronoun is placed right before your conjugated verb, and this is a pattern that you'll need to remember as we continue through the other examples. If I want to say that I don't like the car, I simply have to add the word no to the beginning of the phrase. No me gusta el carro. Okay, now if I want to say that I like more than one thing, so I want to say I like the cars, this time the cars, that's technically your subject, because remember you're really saying the cars are pleasing to me. So we're going to add the plural ending to our verb. So this time it would be me gustan los carros. Or if I don't like the cars, no me gustan los carros. Another time that sometimes we'll use the verb gustar is to express if we like or don't like doing something or some kind of an action. So if I wanted to say, I like to dance, or literally what I'm going to say is dancing is pleasing to me, then I would say, me gusta bailar. If I don't like to dance, then I would just say, no me gusta bailar. Anytime that you're using a verb with gustar, remember that your ending is going to be the third person singular ending of the verb gustar. So just gusta. Even if you wanted to say, I like to sing and dance, me gusta cantar y bailar, you would still use the singular ending of the verb gustar. So that would be gusta. When you're talking to or about others, we are going to not really change the conjugation of the verb gustar, you simply change the indirect object pronoun that you're using. So if I want to say you like the car, and the you that I'm talking to is tu, so it's one person that I know well, we're on a first name, friendly, familiar basis, then I would say te gusta el carro. If I want to say, do you like the car? I want to ask that person. All you do is put a question mark at the beginning and the end of the sentence. ¿Te gusta el carro? If I want to talk to a group of people, I'm going to use the vosotros example. So for just a minute, pretend we're in Spain. So if I want to say to this group of people, y'all like the car, or you like the car, but it's plural, os gusta el carro. We can also use the word no when we're asking questions to say like, don't you, doesn't he, doesn't she? And so if I want to say, don't y'all like the car, then I would say, no os gusta el carro. When you're talking to or about the third person, singular or plural, so remember the third person singular would be él, ella, or usted. And then if I'm talking to or about the third person plural, that would be ellos, ellas, or ustedes. It's a good idea to clarify who the ley or the lace is talking about. You can do this by adding the word a and then the name of that person or group of people to the beginning or the end of a sentence. For example, if I want to say she likes to swim, I could say a ella le gusta nadar. The a ella is simply clarifying who the le is, because if I just said le gusta nadar, that could mean he likes to swim, she likes to swim, you as in usted like to swim. It could also mean my grandpa likes to swim, my little sister likes to swim. It could mean a lot of different things. So the a ella I could put at the beginning, or I could put it at the end of a sentence, le gusta nadar a ella. Either one is correct, but I would say it's a little bit more common to see it at the beginning of a sentence. Let's look at another example. If I want to ask ustedes a question, do you guys like chocolate? I could say, ¿a ustedes les gusta chocolate? Or I might put that a ustedes for clarification at the end of the sentence. ¿Les gusta chocolate a ustedes? Okay, so those are a few examples of how we use the verb gustar with indirect object pronouns. Hopefully, as we practice this a little bit more, you'll become more and more comfortable with it. This is a very, very common phrase in the Spanish language and something you definitely will need to be able to use to communicate effectively. So make sure you got all of this information in your notes and be ready to practice it in class.